legend, Fraser Brooks here, and in this video I want to share with you some tips on reaching your target audience, especially when building on social media. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Fraser Brooks. I help people from all over the world build their business and their brand using social media, and I really hope in this video that I'm going to help you to do the same thing. All right, so let's get into it. The first thing before I go into the actual tips, I just want to share with you kind of how the algorithm works from like a weirdly simple view that might not feel so simple. So you are here in the middle. And when you create a piece of content, it gets seen by what's known as your first level of connections. For those of you who know LinkedIn, you'll be familiar with this because they call your first connections people who you know, second connections are people who they know, third connections to people who they know, and so on. So let's say I create a piece of content about health and wellness. I've got a few friends here on my first level who also like health and wellness. The likelihood of them seeing that content is very, very high. Now let's say that Mary here, she likes it, she comments on it, she loves it, she watches it, she shares it, she messages a friend, whatever it might be. Her connections are her first connections, but they're my second connection. So now when her connections go onto social media, they're most likely gonna see your friend Mary has commented on this post. So now Mary's got this friend, this friend, this friend, 4, 5, 6 friends who also have an interest in health and wellness. But she has loads of other friends or followers who does not have an interest in that content. So the likelihood of them seeing it is very, very low. This is why if you love on a load of posts about dogs, you'll almost never see posts and photos about cats. If you go onto your explore page, whatever you're talking about, commenting on, watching the most will come up. So after that, we can move on to the next phase, which are gonna be our third or your third connection, Mary's second connection. But this person, who's one of Mary's contacts, is their first level. So the way that you go viral and the way that your posts spread is by creating content around the same thing and attracting people by creating content that they're gonna want. So let's go into some tips. Number 1, research where your audience actually spends time with the most. So like if you are in your 50s, maybe Facebook's the best. If you're in your 30s, maybe Instagram's the best. If you're in your 20s, maybe TikTok's the best. Research where your audience is at. And if you think, you know what, my audience is gonna be everywhere because I apply to all different levels and all different age groups, then you gotta be on all platforms. Tip number 2, optimize your bios so that when people come onto your profile, they can clearly see he helps people who X to Y, right? If you make it super obvious, imagine this. You're creating content about yoga and your bio says mother of 2, travel fan, food junkie. Why would a yoga lover who's just come across your post want to follow you? Everything's got to make sense. So if you're creating content about personal development, then your bio should say something along the lines of personal development junkie. I help men in their 50s to transform their life through the power of personal development. Now it's like, I'm a man in my 50s and I want to use personal development to transform my life. This is the guy I've got to follow, whether they know you or not. Point number 3 is actually posting when your audience is active. Now, if you haven't already done so, you can use a scheduling tool. I love Metricool, metricool.com, to ensure that you know what time your audience is active through the statistics that they give you based on your profiles, but also the days and what you need to be posting across what platforms. Tip number 4, make sure your audience knows that you see them. And how you do this is super, super simple. Number 1, you're going to reply to the comments that they give you. Number 2, if you get any messages, you reply to their messages. And number 3, if they ever ask you any questions, create a piece of content answering that question, share that piece of content with them and say, hey, I noticed you asked this question to me in my comments a few posts ago. I wanted to really take the time to help you out. Does this help? Number 5, one of my favorites, I do this every single day. I've done it for years and I teach thousands of people how to do the same thing, is track the engagement on your posts. So here's what you want to do. You want to just get a Google sheet or a piece of paper, however you like to track. When you make a post, make a note of it and set an alarm to remind you 24 hours after you've posted to make note of the likes, the comments, the views, the shares, the saves, all the different data that you can see. At the end of the month, go and review which is your top 3 pieces of content and then go and create 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 versions of each of those pieces of content. By doing this and continuing to do this, you will be able to see your engagement grow and grow and grow because you're giving your audience exactly what they want. Number 6, create content that's very shareable, right? So these could be quote cards, they could be very short clips that inspire people, motivate people, bring value to people. I did another video where I talked about the 3 different types of posts to take people on a journey to actually buy from you with your own social media funnel. I'll link it in the description. But super important that you from time to time create either something that's shareable with like a quote, something that's enjoyable, that's maybe about you a little bit more, that people want to share with the world, or sharing something that's vulnerable that makes people go, no way, he or she is just like me. Number 7, use stories to share the behind the scenes of your life. Now, what do I mean by that, right? We're showing the highlights of our life. We're sharing all the edited, polished content inside our feed, in the vertical feed where you're scrolling like this. But in the horizontal feed, the stories where people scroll along, we need to share the bad side, meaning the real us, the ups, the downs, the goods, the bads, the behind the scenes, the no makeup, the makeup, the hair all good, the hair not so great. The parts where you may be looking like a fool or acting like a fool because people want to see that content. People, when they see that content, they fall in love with you. When they fall in love with you, they will share you with their friends who they believe will fall in love with you too. This is how you get known by more people on social media, the right people. Now, before I go into point 8, I just want to let you know that I know it's frustrating when you feel like you're posting and you're getting no one like your content. I know it's super frustrating when you spend tens of minutes actually creating the content and no one likes it, no one comments on it. It feels like a waste of time. You start hating social media, but if you implement these tips over a long period of time, you will move, you will gain traction, and you will grow on social media. And point 8 is make sure that you actually go live, addressing the concerns, the challenges, the issues of the people following you, answer their questions, make sure that you shout them out, make sure that they feel seen. This is super important. You can also share more stories. You can share like a video log of like the good and the bad parts of your week. Go and do it at least once a week, if not 2-3 times a week. It's gonna be super helpful, people are gonna love it, and it makes you become easier to share for other people with their friends. All right, so in wrapping up, do me a massive favor. If you did get value from this and you want to see more videos like this, give us a thumbs up, smash subscribe, and let us know down below which tip you are going to implement the most. Rome was not built in a day, and neither were incredible social media communities. Give value, help people, create content that's shareable, and you will go out and build an empire on social media. I just know you will. So if you got value from this and you would like to share this on social media and allow me to encourage you, go and take a screenshot of what you see right now, post it onto your Instagram stories, tag me at Fraser Brooks Online, and I will send you a message of encouragement, appreciation, gratitude, and I will really look forward to hearing your story and how I can help you grow to the next level. All right, see you on the next video. Bye-bye.